Our featured speaker today, Mr. Pierre Cooke, is currently a second-year student at the University of the West Indies, Cayfield campus, where he is pursuing his legum baccalaureus in the Faculty of Law. He graduated with a distinction from the Barbados Community College with associate degrees in French, law, and sociology. And he is currently the Prime Minister of the Barbados National Youth Parliament and technical advisor to the Healthy Caribbean Coalition. He has worked in the field of youth development and advocacy since 2014 with both local and international organizations. The journey began when he reinitiated his secondary school's debating society to provide a safe space for students to freely discuss their ideas and share their concerns in a formal manner. The Allen School Debating Society was Pierre's first exposure to public speaking, besides presentations at church, of course, and it whet his appetite for advocacy. Today, that passion has grown by leaps and bounds and has manifested into Pierre becoming a world-renowned youth advocate, particularly in relation to health and human rights issues. Although a stranger to this land, Pierre has represented Barbados at a number of regional and international forums. In 2018, he was the youngest member in attendance to the NCD Child Global Youth Conference, held in Sharjah, United Arab Emirates, where he stood as a representative of the region in conversations on protecting the right of children to the highest attainable standard of health. And in just last year, he has represented Barbados twice in Trinidad and Tobago. And on both of these occasions, Pierre was privileged to meet privately with the President of Trinidad and Tobago and the Speaker of the House of Assembly. In that same year, Pierre set off to London as a delegate to the One Young World Leaders Summit, where again, he was among the youngest attendants there. At this event, Pierre was fortunate to have an audience with Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, and Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. Pierre remarks jokingly that just that year, he got to meet 2 sets of royals without even setting foot in the palace, because earlier that year, he was fortunate to sit with the Duke and Duchess of Cornwall on their royal tour of the Caribbean. To date, Pierre continues to advocate for and on behalf of youth in his various roles, and is sought out both regionally and internationally to advise civil society organizations on how to develop youth advocacy programs and how to meaningfully engage the agency of youth. He has worked with the likes of UNICEF, the Global NCD Alliance, NCD Child, and NCD Child, just to name a few. This year, he had a one-on-one conversation with the Director General of the World Health Organization to advise him and his team on how they could better include youth in their government structures and to highlight the experiences of young people in the Caribbean during COVID-19. Does Pierre have time to have fun? Yes, he does. Pierre can be found either in the Office of the Attorney at Law and Global Children's Rights Defender Faith Marshall Harris, or in the Law Library. But you can also find him at the beach or out with his friends having a light moment. Pierre says his work and passion is driven by a simple dogma: there should be nothing done for the youth without the youth. And his personal experiences keep him committed to the cause. When asked where he had gained the confidence to pursue his dreams, he said, "I had a community who looked out for me and a team that supported me. Many of those team members are teachers at the Allen School." Ladies and gentlemen, students, please welcome Alenian Pierre Cooke to the podium to present our featured address this morning. He didn't have it in here, but I want to say that he was also the head boy of the Allen School in 2015 to 2016 and a member of the Student Council, so he has a lot under his belt for such a young man. Welcome, Pierre, once again.
Good morning, everyone. Special good morning to the Chairman of the Board of Management, Mr. Anthony Headley, and members of the board, Principal, Ms. Julia Beckles, Deputy Principal, Mr. Troy Phillips, Representative of the Ministry of Education and Technological Innovation, Ms. Kayleen Kelman-Holder, presenters, Ms. Nikhila Wiltshire and Ms. Tanya Stevens, former principals, Mr. George Beckles and Mr. Erwin Graves, Mr. Richie Allen of the Allen family, Principal of the Ada Costa Edwards School, Ms. Lauren Hines, representatives of major sponsor Williams Industries, prize winners, parents and guardians, colleagues, presidents and officers of the alumni, PTA and Allen School through the years, specially invited guests, members of the press, good morning. So interestingly enough, I had a question this morning by Miss Cara Watson, our head girl. Pierre, do you get nervous? And I said, no, because I'm at the Allen School, I should not get nervous. But here I am after Miss Cozier read that bio, and I feel a bit nervous. But nonetheless, I feel at home. I always feel at home at the Allen School. So when I was putting together this presentation, I asked myself, what could I possibly say to the students of the Allen School to inspire them? I always believe that anything I say or anything I do, I should leave some inspiration for the persons who are listening. And I thought about what my experience was when I first entered the Allen School, how did I feel, what inspired me. And really and truly, I think I had a unique experience because just by being here, I felt inspired. I remember the first time I came to the Allen School, got off the bus after driving forever. And going up to the office, I remember very vividly the flamboyant tree was pregnant with blossoms and it was very beautiful to see. And I just sat on the bench and I was like, this is my school for the next 5 years. I'm going to make the most of it. And I did, and I enjoyed every single day at the Allen School. Every single day. Funny enough, I make it my business, or I try to make it my business to come to the Allen School every semester because I do get a sense of inspiration when I come here and it renews my sense of purpose. And I want to share with the students today, and those of you here today, that sense of purpose and inspiration. Now, I want to talk about perceptions. I know the theme is surpassing adversity through resilience. And there are a lot of things that I experienced personally, and I think some of you Allen students will experience in terms of adversity when you leave the Allen School and even through your tenure at the Allen School. So, I'm sure by now each and every one of us know that people form opinions about you without ever saying a word in English to you. They don't know you, they know about you, they probably see you, but they form their opinions and they have their perceptions. It's the same thing for you as an Allen School student. People have their ideas and perceptions of you. Furthermore, they attach labels to you. So and so think that he's great because he went to the Allen School. Yes, I do. Or he's a little hard-ears boy, or this person disgusting. And we label persons for all types of reasons. We attach these labels to them sometimes from very young. A young boy or a young child, toddler, throws down his sippy cup and we say, he's disgusting. And that label sometimes travels with him throughout life. Now, this is important. Now, the question is, why should you care about labels? Why should you care that someone says, oh, he went to the Allen School? Or why should you care that someone says, oh, he's a disgusting little boy? Because labels matter. Now, sociologists have developed a theory called the labeling theory, and some sociologists say that it looks and studies how people's or person's behavior change based on the associations that people attach to them. So, for example, it's normally used to analyze criminal behavior and deviance. So if a person from young is said, oh, he's a criminal, or he's going to be disgusting, or he hard-ears, or he own way, throughout life, that young boy or young girl tends to believe that, this is something that my parents or family at home believe of me. If they get to school and the teachers reinforce that, he hard-ears, he's disgusting, again, that child tends to feel, this must be true. I'm hearing it at home, I'm hearing it at school, maybe I'm hearing it at church, this must be true of me. And so he or she tends to adapt their behavior, sometimes to deviate from that norm or to accept that norm. It's a very slippery slope that you don't, or I don't want our students to thrive. Now, when you hear the labels people call you over and over again, they say them publicly, they say them on TV, they say them at home, in your families, at your schools, it reinforces these ideas in your mind, and you tend to internalize it sometimes. If you have a strong character, if you have a strong personality, maybe it doesn't affect you as much. But labeling affects persons. When you say someone or you say something about someone, it affects them if they hear it often enough. Now, there's a way for you to get away from this. There's a way for you to get away from people saying, such and such is a hard-ears little boy, or she ain't gonna be no good, or he ain't gonna be no good. Positive affirmations and positive action. We'll start with positive affirmations. Now, throughout the year of 2020, I'm sure that each and every one of you went through some difficult times. I mean, we all were in lockdown, going back crazy. I'm sure the students didn't think they would spend 3 to 4 months at home with their parents for sustained periods. That must have been interesting. And I'm sure the parents as well had an interesting experience with their children at home learning to adapt to the online platform. I was very pleased to hear that the teachers at the Allen School actually had exposure to the G Suite profile before COVID-19, which again speaks to our leadership capacity and leadership role. Allen School has always been a place of business. So positive affirmations, what that means is that you, the students, even you, the parents, can practice daily saying positive things about yourself. Practice believing in yourself. Practice saying, I will be great today. I will achieve great things today. Practice saying, I will be good. I can do this. Now, when I was thinking about writing this speech, I thought about something my grandmother told me when I was much younger. And she would always say, words have molding power. And I thought that was very interesting, even at 6 or 7, because this is when she would say this. I don't know why she thought I'd understand the importance of that term, but she would always say, words have molding power. Interestingly enough, I thought that phrase was so profound and wisdom-filled that I actually thought it was scripture. And I went checking last night and realized, well, maybe not. But the thing is, I want you to understand that what you say about yourself and what people say about you is important. And we can look at it from the positive and the negative way. Now, I spoke to you about the negative. I said that when people say bad things about you, when they classify you into a certain group, you can internalize it, and you can manifest that in your everyday life. On the flip side, when you believe in yourself, students, when you believe in yourselves and you say positive things about yourself and you have positive affirmations about yourself, you reinforce that. And it's not only by what you say, but it's by the people who you're around. So one thing I've learned to appreciate is that you as a person are the sum total of the persons you spend most of your time with. You spend majority of your time at the Allen School. And I'm pretty sure if you come here and you're taking diligently what is happening around you, if you appreciate the experience that you're having here, if you look at the culture that is being cultivated at the Allen School, you will be inspired to do great things. Because Allen School has always been a place of business, learning, and wholesome experience. Now, the thing about listening to my grandmother say that words have molding power, I absolutely had no idea what that meant for me. Now, mind you, she would say this when I said the craziest of things. So, for example, I would say, I can't wait to leave home and live by myself. And I was like 6, and that's because I couldn't go outside to play. Or I would say or get up and say that, you know what, I'll never talk again because I couldn't get a word to say in the big people conversation. I was ever the little politician, but I understand now in a different way that words have molding power means just that. Be careful about the things you say. Be careful about the words that you entertain in your space. Be careful about what you let people say about you. Sometimes you can't control what people say, you can't control what they say about you, you can't control what they think about you, but you can control yourself. You can control your thoughts, you can control your beliefs, and I want you to practice positive affirmations. And before I finish, I'll show you, or rather will recite, one of the positive affirmations that I'm sure you know. Now, in understanding that words are powerful, and understanding that what you say or others say about you has a tremendous impact, you need to practice the belief that you are good, you can be good, you're better, you are great, you can do these things. And I'm sure that many times, those of you here who are coming up for prizes had to remind yourself, I can do this assignment. I can do this assignment, I can get past this, I can get past this exam, I can get past this course, I can do this. And even throughout COVID, I'm sure that teachers and students alike had to remind themselves that we can get past this, we will build back better. Now, another thing that I want you to note is that positive affirmations comes hand in hand with positive action. So you can say and wake up every morning and say, you know what, I want to get A's, I will get A's, I will pass this exam, I will pass this test. But if you do no studying, nothing will happen. You can get up every day and say, you know, I'm going to go to this history class and I'm going to get an A. I'm going to get an A, I'm going to get an A, I'm going to get an A. But no matter how many positive affirmations you do, Ms. Brown still isn't going to give you that A willingly if you didn't put in the work. So it's important that with positive affirmations, you also ensure that you include positive actions. Actions to achieve or go after those positive affirmations. So if you believe that you can get the A's, if you say to yourself you will get the A's, if you put that positive action in place, if you decide in yourself that I will set aside this time to study, I will set aside this time to play, you can achieve those great things that you believe about yourself, because to achieve success and achieve greatness doesn't take sitting down and believing yourself only. That's only part of the struggle. Believing in yourself is only part of the struggle. You need to go the next step and put the action in place to ensure that you fulfill your dreams. Now, a dream is only a dream if it stays up there. It never becomes a reality if you don't act on it. And testament to that fact are those of you today who acted on your dreams, who acted on the belief that you can do this, you can be better, you can do great. You put in the work, and here you are to be rewarded. This is important. I want you to take that as a reminder as well. What you ought to do at this stage of your life is to channel all of your efforts into forming a deep appreciation for your learning experience at the Allen School. Start by reminding yourself of who you are and who you represent. And you represent an amazing brand. I am telling you, you represent an amazing brand. The Allen School brand is top-notch, top-tier, top-class brand. So whenever you're out and you have one, I always wear my Allen School band. Here in Barbados, in Dubai, in the UK, I wear my Allen School band. And when I'm asked the question, what does it say? I say Alice non-CB, for others not self. It's the best school in Barbados. It's located in St. Andrew. You must be able to rattle off and sell your product. You must be able to sell your brand. Okay? And the Allen School is a marketable brand. It is a marketable product, and it's one that you should be proud of as Allen School students, as Allen School scholars. Take your time. This is my next point. Take your time while you're here, and I don't want to say smell the roses, but maybe smell the flamboyance. But take your time at the Allen School. The experience here is invaluable. I know it sounds weird to hear that I enjoyed every single day at the Allen School, but I did. I absolutely did. Every single day I spent at the Allen School, I enjoyed. And for a specific reason, because I came here with a purpose. I came here believing that I can do it. And as Ms. Cozier said right in that bio, I had and you have an amazing support staff. You see your teachers? They want the best for you. Your teachers are your biggest supporters. And I know to some students it might seem a little strange because how could she want the best for me when I didn't pass this exam, or it didn't seem that I passed this subject. It is fine. It is absolutely fine. I had a lecturer in my first semester at law school, in the University of the West Indies Faculty of Law. And he would always say that, you know what, we can't read, or the students in this group are not critical thinkers, and stuff like that. And I couldn't appreciate at that time why he was a good teacher, why he was even lecturing at the University of the West Indies. I thought he was a horrible person. I felt that he made me feel bad about myself. He told me that I can't read, and I held on to that. Sometimes you need to see past those things. I'm not saying that teachers should go about saying, children can't read, or telling you these bad things about yourself and asking you to push past or see through these words of negativity as it may seem from the outset. But I'm saying that your teachers want the best for you. So it turns out that he actually understood that some students coming from secondary school have this, I don't want to say a hand-to-mouth approach, where the teacher gives you the information, you just regurgitate the information, that's fine, no critical thinking. And I know that in our motto and in our mission that we want to develop a school of critical thinkers. This is important, because when you enter the universities that you want to go to, whether it's here in Barbados, in the Caribbean, or otherwise, being a critical thinker sets you apart from the other students, because you're able to look at information differently and analyze information differently. Many times I was here, I needed to stop and take my time. I needed to stop and look at what was happening around me for a bit and then refocus. Refocusing is important. During COVID-19, during that adversarial period, all of us had a time to stop and refocus. It was forced. We didn't think that we would have to be home so long, but we had to stop and refocus. And I'm sure each and every one of us had an opportunity to think about, what does it mean for me to have freedom? Why do I want to go outside so bad? What are the meaningful relationships that I should have had or should have experienced during my time on the outside, as it was? I want you, during your tenure at the Allen School, to stop and refocus. And an important point I want to inject here is that protect your mental health. Pay close attention to how you're feeling, how your body's responding, what your mind is going through. And if you do feel that you need to speak to someone, Miss Lynch is a wonderful person to talk to. Trust me, she loves to talk. And she will talk to you if you're willing to talk to her. Many times I was here and I felt a bit overwhelmed, and I would chalk myself up to her office, and I would sit down on the outside, and she said, "Hi, Mr. Cooke." And I would just go in and we would have a lovely conversation. I would leave feeling all the much better. Your guidance counselors are here to support you. And there's nothing taboo about going to the guidance counselor's office. There's nothing secretive. It shouldn't be anything you're ashamed of. But protect your mental health. During COVID, I found a lot of students and a lot of young persons that I spoke to didn't know how to cope with the stresses of being home, the stresses of anxiety, the stresses of studying, the stresses of being in a confined space, and they didn't know who to reach out to. As a matter of fact, they didn't feel comfortable reaching out to anyone. I want you to understand that you can. You can speak up, you can speak out, you can go to your counselors. Parents, I want you to provide a safe space for your children. I want you to be a safe space for them to come and speak freely and honestly about how they're feeling. And I want you to understand and appreciate where they're at in life. It might seem that they're at school, they have nothing to worry about. They absolutely do. As much as you're stressing about work, they're stressing about their grades. We need to appreciate where students are at. And in coming to a closing, because I really just wanted to leave some short, sharp tips of inspiration for you, I want you to understand, again, the teachers around you are phenomenal people. I can go through, I'm looking at them here. Ms. Draker Calendar, when I was at school, I don't know how she did it, between her and Mr. Cadogan, trying to teach me math. Goodness gracious me, I was a horrible math student. And they tried, they absolutely tried, they believed in me. I remember I did my first CXC math in 4th year, and wasn't a grade that I was too happy of. I didn't fail. We don't fail. We don't fail at the Allen School, okay? I didn't fail, and Mr. Ricky Calendar said, you know what, Pierre, you can do it again. And I was like, no, I can't do this. She was like, you can do it again. She offered me free lessons. We had our sessions, one-on-one. You can do this again. And she absolutely believed in me, and this is the point about positive affirmations. She believed in me. She says, Pierre, you can do it. And I went ahead, and I said, you know what, Pierre, you can do this. I trusted, I believed in myself. I said, you can do this. And I went, and I didn't actually get a higher grade. But the point of that is that, the point of that being, she believed in me. She had all this wonderful belief in me. And I believe that it was because she saw potential. And I'm sure that I could have got a higher grade. But you know, in my mind, it was like, I don't know what this woman sees. I don't know what she's seeing. I mean, I add 3 plus 3 and get 9, but she believes that I can do better at this, and I will go again. So it all speaks again to persons believing in you, but you not believing in yourself. So they can believe in you all they want, this side of the room, your parents, your teachers can believe in you all they want, but if you don't believe in yourself, there's nothing much that they can do for you. You need to take up the mantle for yourselves and take up ownership and responsibility for your learning. Take responsibility for your learning now. I want you to develop a culture of, my teachers are providing the material, but I need to go home and review it, critically analyze it, make notes on it, study it, regurgitate it, try to understand it, because you need to take responsibility of your learning. They're not responsible for your learning. At this point, they're responsible for providing you with the information, making sure that you have a comfortable environment. Where there is anything that you don't understand, providing clarification, but you have to play a part. Now, I know that Ms. Bascom is somewhere around here somewhere, but Ms. Bascom is another teacher that I felt very comfortable going to and speaking to, because it was a matter of going to the art room, sitting down for a few moments, and Pierre, you're going to do great things, Pierre, you're going to be awesome, and another teacher that believed in me. Whether I believed in myself at that point, debatable. But it was all these teachers around me who believed in me and believed in things that I could do for myself, helped me to develop a purpose, a sense of purpose and understanding that I can and will do relatively good things. You can and you will do as students great things. So in closing, I want you to understand that the problems you have or the problems you face or the things that you might see in your life right now are surmountable. You can get past them. These adversaries are but for a moment, but you can get past them. Scripture reading, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. The Lord will not give you more than you can bear. And whether you believe in biblical principles or not, the same sentiments remain. You can get through adversaries, you can get through difficult times, you can get through difficult positions if you only have positive affirmations and take positive action. Believe in yourself and take the actions to do it. So the 5 points I'm going to leave with you is 1. Labels can be good. Labels can be bad. I want you to attach to yourself positive labels. So when people say that, you know, you feel you're all that because you went to the Allen School, yes you do. And yes you will continue to, because the Allen School is the best school in the island, and you can clap for that. I want you to also understand that words have molding power. What people say about you, what you say about yourselves is important. Now, I want to make the caveat here that people saying things about you doesn't mean that you have to embody it. People having mean things to say about you or negative things to say about you doesn't mean that you have to become that. It means that you prove them wrong. And not proving them wrong to say that you're working the rest of your life to prove a single person wrong, but you believe in yourself. People can say all the negative things they want to say about you and who you are and your character, but you believe in yourself. Throughout this year, many a time you had to stop and believe in yourself, whether you thought about it or not. You believed that you could get through COVID-19. Even when the world was up in flames, you believed that you could get past it. You believed that you could transition to online learning, and here you are reaping the success of that belief in yourself and that positive action. Third point, your teachers and parents are here to help you and they care about you. Talk to them if you're struggling. Talk to your teachers if you're struggling with the material. An important point here, it's very fine for you to struggle with the course material. It's very fine. If you understood everything that your teachers taught you on the first go, you probably shouldn't be at school. Even in my case, I'm University of the West Indies Law, and I get cases, some 50, 65-page cases, and I'm reading it, and I'm like, I'm understanding nothing. And I'd read all 65 pages and get to the end of it, and I do not know what the judge was trying to say here. I don't know what the principle is, and I have to go over it again. It's very fine for you to struggle with the information or struggle with the material. What isn't okay is for you to give up. We don't have a culture of quitting at the Allen School. What you're not going to do is give up. I want you to seek and use all the resources that you have at hand, guidance counselors, your teachers, your friends, your peers, and ensure that you remain inspired. Remain inspired by your experience at the Allen School. That takes me to my fourth point, take care of your mental health. Take some rest days, and rest days doesn't mean every day of the week and you only study on Saturdays. It means that for the most part you study and you take a single day or a couple hours to do something very relaxing. If you want to talk to me about deep focus studying, we can talk about that. It's something I've been practicing. Put the phone in another room, put away the electronic devices. I mean, now it's online learning, so it's a bit more difficult. But try some deep focus studying. Take control and responsibility for your learning. Parents, you also have a role and responsibility in ensuring that your children are comfortable coming to you, speaking to you about whatever challenges they're having. Whether it's at school, their peer groups, their friends, any other activities or experiences they're having. You need to ensure that your home and your space is a safe space and a space of no judgment and a place of understanding. When your child comes to you and they have difficulties, have the conversation with them, and then you go, if you're religious, seek the Lord in prayer and ask for guidance. How can you train this child in the way he should go so that when he becomes older, he does not depart from it? And that does not only mean biblical training, but even within their physical upbringing, their lives, and teaching them good morals and values. Ensure that you instill in them proper morals, proper values. Too many students and young people today don't have a sense of inspiration and sense of guidance. Their parents are lacking guidance, and the children, by turn, lack guidance. I want you to provide a sense and source of inspiration for your children. Lead and live by example. And then the final thing, I'm going to ask the students to stand up. Come on. Levantate, s'il vous plaît. There we go. All students. Yeah, so I was head boy, so I'm accustomed looking across the room to see who's still sitting and who's a little lazy. Good. So one of the positive affirmations that you have at the Allen School, you've had for a while since I've been here, is your PRO mantra. So I want you to stand at attention, and we're going to repeat it together. So you know how it goes. I'm an Allen scholar, yada yada. We're going to go on a count of 3, 2, 3. I am an Allen scholar. I am a pro, productive, responsible, and obedient. I want you to live by that. I want you to mean it. I want you to understand it. I want you to understand you are at the best school in the island, and there's no one that can tell you otherwise. All right? Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you for having me here, and do enjoy the rest of your day.